श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्।
सुखं नित्यं स्वप्रकाशं व्यापकं नामरूपयोः अधिष्ठानं बुद्ध्यबोध्यं बुद्धेर्दृग्यत्तु निर्मलम् अपारं सर्ववेदान्त वेद्यं प्रत्यक्परं महः तदेवाहं न मत्तोऽन्यत् इति मे निश्चिता मतिः. We are analyzing the direct means of Brahma Jnana. While analyzing the direct means, we had categorized Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana as relatively indirect. And what was the Sakshat Sadhana, the direct mean, or the ultimately which are the direct means? And those were Mahavakya. So, for Brahma Jnana to take place, Vedanta Vakya is directly responsible. In that, there were two categories. There are Avantara Vakya and Mahavakya. Avantara Vakya, indirect statement and direct statement. If you want to categorize them in, translate them in English, you can translate them as this way. But better to understand Avantara Vakya and Mahavakya. What are Avantara Vakya? Avantara Vakya are those which will give the indirect knowledge of Brahman. The statements from Upanishads which give us the indirect knowledge of Brahman in the form of Brahma Asti. Brahman is there. Those are Avantara Vakya. And those statements from Upanishad which for a student who is endowed with fourfold qualification in abundance, Pushkala Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampannasya. So he has Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti in abundance, not just 20% or somewhat a little bit, in abundance. For him, that Mahavakya, when he hears that Mahavakya from a Guru, the Mahavakya which is heard, that Mahavakya will be responsible for Aparoksha Brahma Jnana. So, first and foremost, we have to understand what is going to give me Aparoksha Jnana. Aparoksha Jnana, or what will generate Aparoksha Jnana? Mahavakya which has been heard. Shrotrena Sambaddham Mahavakyam. Shrotrena Sambaddham Vedanta Vakyam. That's how author had said that. And if it is Mahavakya, then knowledge which is going to take place, it is going to be Aparoksha alone. Now, on this topic, some objections were raised. And now we are going to dwell in or dive into these objections. What are the objections? First, understand what is the Siddhanta. Before we go into the objections, first we have to understand what is the Siddhanta. Siddhanta is Mahavakya will give aparoksha jnana, or Vedanta Vakya is responsible for knowledge. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana is responsible for removing the obstructions of that knowledge. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana are not going to give me knowledge. Why Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana are not eligible for giving knowledge? Simple, because they are not pramana, jnana, sadhana, means of knowledge. Upanishad statements being means of knowledge, they are going to give me knowledge. That may be indirect or direct. On this, an objection is being raised. Mahavakyam aparoksha jnana hetuh ityatra आक्षेप समाधानानि. Mahavakya is the cause of aparoksha jnana, is responsible for aparoksha jnana. In this topic, about this topic, akshepa samadhanani. What are the objections? What are the contrary thinking? And their explanation. Answering those objections. Atra kechid akshipanti. There are few people in Advaita Vedanta itself, there are few schools of thought in Advaita Vedanta itself who take objection. Objection to what? It is now said, Shravanadini Mahavakyani cha samuchitya eva aparoksha jnanam janayanti. Kevalani tu vakyani paroksham jnanam janayeyuhu na aparoksham. Simple. Shravanadini Mahavakyani. Shravanadini, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasanani. Mahavakyani, Mahavakyas. Samuchitya eva, when they are combined together, then alone aparoksha jnanam janayanti. Then alone aparoksha jnana will take place. Kevalani tu vakyani. But Upanishad statements alone, paroksham eva jnanam janayeyuhu na aparoksham. They will give paroksha jnana alone, not aparoksha jnana. Kevalani tu vakyani. Now here, because author has said kevalani tu vakyani, he has not exactly mentioned either Mahavakya or Avantara Vakya. We have to take both. Whether it is Avantara Vakya or whether it is Mahavakya, it will give me Paroksha Jnana alone. It will give me Paroksha Jnana alone. Nowhere it is going to give me Aparoksha Jnana. What is the difference? Let's clarify and let's clearly understand. Our Siddhanta is, if there is a student who is competent, who is endowed with Pushkala Sadhana Chatushta Sampatti, for him, just by listening to those Mahavakya, he will gain Aparoksha Jnana. He does not need Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. To this, they take objection. They say, no, no, no. Whether he is Pushkala Sadhana Chatushta Sampanna, if he is Adhikari or not, it doesn't matter. Even though he may be Pushkala Sadhana Chatushta Sampanna, Vakya, listening to Mahavakya will generate Paroksha Jnana alone, not Aparoksha. And why do they say so? The second objection is, Kevalani Vakyani eva yadi Aparoksha Jnanam janayeyuhu. If Mahavakya alone, Kevalani Vakyani, if those statements alone, Upanishad statements alone by themselves were capable of giving aparoksha jnana, tarhi then vyarthani syu shravana manana nididhyasanani iti. Then shravana manana nididhyasana is futile. It is useless. Then why would shravana manana nididhyasana would have been enjoyed? Because it has been said, do shravana, do manana, do nididhyasana. That means you have to do shravana, manana, nididhyasana after Mahavakya, listening to Mahavakya to gain aparoksha jnana. This much clear. Let's first again go through. Their objection is whether the listener student is adhikari or not. Mahavakya is going to Upanishad Vakya is going to generate Paroksha Jnana alone, combined with Shravana Manana Nididhyasana alone. Mahavakya combined with Shravana Manana Nididhyasana alone will give Aparoksha Jnana. And why is this objection? Why do they say so? Because if Mahavakya or Upanishad statements by themselves were capable of giving aparoksha jnana, then Shravana Manana Nididhyasana will be useless, futile. It is now being explained. न च केवल महावाक्यात् अपरोक्षम एव ज्ञानम जायते श्रवणादीनां तु न च केवल महावाक्यात् अपरोक्षम एव ज्ञानम जायते. Just by Mahavakya, just by listening to Mahavakya, aparoksham eva jnanam na jayate. Aparoksha jnana will not take place. Shravanadinam tu asambhavana viparita bhavana nivruttau upayuktatvat vyarthata iti vachyam. Why? Because Shravanadinam tu Shravana Manana, Nididhyasana, etc. are asambhavana, viparita bhavana, nivruttau. To remove asambhavana, doubts, viparita bhavana, error, misapprehension, contrary understanding, contrary knowledge. Upayuktatva, they being helpful, they being useful. Vyarthata iti vachyam. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana will be vyartha. अपरोक्ष ज्ञान विषये वस्तुनि कस्यापि असंभावना विपरीत भावना अनुदयात् केवलादपि महावाक्यात् अपरोक्षम एव ज्ञानम जायते इति वदतां मते. Now he is talking about us. Purvapaksha is now talking about us. Aparoksha jnana vishaye vastuni. Vastuni Brahmani, that which is the object of knowledge, direct knowledge, that is Brahman, which is aparoksha. Tasyapi, for whomsoever, asambhavana, viparita bhavana, anudayat. If there is no asambhavana, viparita bhavana, etc., kevaladapi mahavakyat. For a person who does not have any of those doubts or error, kevalad api mahavakyat aparoksha jnanam jayate. For him, aparoksha jnana will take place. Those who say so, for those tattvamasthari mahavakyaihi brahma paroksha jnanotpatyanantaram. When Tattvamasthari Mahavakya, when Tattvamasthari Mahavakya is heard, Brahma Aparoksha Jnanotpatyanantaram. Aparoksha Jnanotpatti. When Aparoksha Brahma Jnana takes place, after that, Asambhavana, Viparita Bhavana, Anutpattehe. Because he does not have Asambhavana, Viparita Bhavana, etc. श्रवणादि साधनानां व्यर्थता एव स्यात्. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana will be futile, and because they have been said in Vedas, it will be futile, and no statement from Veda is unnecessarily given. So because it has been told in Upanishad, it has been told in Veda, it has to be true, it has to be done, and even if you say they are not needed for one particular adhikari, still you are wrong. Why? Because Upanishad statements or Vedic statements, what do you mean to say is Upanishad statements will be wrong. Asman Matetu, and now he explains his point. Asman Matetu, Purva Pakshi Mate, Kevala Vakyena Paroksham Eva Jnanam Prathamam Jayate. What do we say? Purva Paksha is saying, we say by listening to Mahavakya, listening to Upanishad Vakya, Paroksham eva jnanam prathamam jayate. Paroksha jnana alone will take place first. And then Shravanadi saha kritena vakyena tu. When you do again repeated Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana of that Vakya, Paschat, later, Aparoksham, then Aparoksha jnana will take place. Iti angikarat. If you accept it in this way, Shravanadi Vayyartham na Shravanadi Vayyartham. Shravana Manana Nididhyasana will not have Vayyartha, uselessness, futileness. Iti Aneka Granthakrit Tatparyam iti. And this has been said by many Granthakrit, Granthakara, Granthakarta. Let's understand in simple language. This may be a repetition, but bear with me. Purva Paksha is simple. So you say a person who is adhikari, just by listening to Upanishad Mahavakya, he will gain Aparoksha Brahmajnana. Yes, but we have doubt. If such is the case, then what is the use of Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana? Because Vedas have said so, it has some use and it is applicable to everyone. In your case, if they are useless, then what you are implying is Vedic statements are wrong, and that is never true. That cannot be possible. So, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana is required. And that's why what we say is, he may be adhikari or he may be anyone. By listening to Mahavakya, by listening to Upanishad statement, Paroksha Jnana alone will take place. And when he does Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, then that Paroksha Jnana will change to Aparoksha Jnana. Now, this Purva Paksha, this method of way of thinking has come much later. And from what I believe, from what I have read, it is attributed to Vachaspati Mishra, Bhamatikara. He is the proponent of this school of thought. He says, for Aparoksha Jnana, you have to do Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Now, the second, now the answer is given. Before we go to answering of this Purva Paksha, let's first understand few things. We are now dealing with Paroksha Jnana and Aparoksha Jnana. So we have to understand what is paroksha and what is aparoksha. Anything which is not known directly through sense organs. Anything and everything which is not known directly through sense organs is paroksha. If we had seen this example, Eiffel Tower. Even if somebody may show me picture of an Eiffel Tower, if that actual object is not coming in contact with my indriyas, then it is going to be paroksha alone. Only when the object comes in contact with respective indriya, when the vishaya, the object of knowledge, comes in contact with the indriya, the means of knowledge, and tadakara vritti, thought modification in the shape, in the form of that particular object takes place, that will be pratyaksha. And if this does not take place, it is going to be paroksha. Simple example, again another example. If somebody says in Agra there is Taj Mahal, which is white in color, very beautiful, dome shape. There are four pillars or four towers on its four corners, etc. He explains me how the Taj Mahal looks. Even if he shows me the picture, unless and until I stand in front of that object, what is the object of knowledge here? Taj Mahal. Unless and until I stand in front of that object of knowledge, that is Taj Mahal, and see with my own eyes, till then the knowledge of that particular object, Taj Mahal, is going to be paroksha. And paroksha jnana is gained by shabda only. What do we mean by shabda? Shabda is simple. Aptavakya. Another word which is used is aptavakya. Some verbal testimony, because somebody told me so. Paroksha jnana will not be gained just like that, and it will always be because somebody said, told me so, because somebody said so. That's how it is going to be. Otherwise, paroksha jnana will not take place. There is no possibility at all. In case of Brahman also, the same thing happens. We say Brahman is there. Why? Upanishads said so. So it is going to be paroksha. Now, aparoksha. Now here is the thing. That which is not paroksha is aparoksha. But the problem is, aparoksha can be two. I am not talking about aparoksha brahmajnana here. I am just talking about the word aparoksha. Just one aparoksha. That which is not paroksha, it is going to be aparoksha. But the object in front of me can also be aparoksha, and that which is me myself, which is not different from me, can also be aparoksha. Is it not? Object which is in front of me can also be aparoksha, and that which is me myself can also be aparoksha. But here another distinction has been done. Whatever that is in front of me and is known through my indriyas, through my sense organ, that is pratyaksha, direct perception. That is direct perception. And that which cannot be known through any of the indriyas. Do we need any sense organs to know ourselves? No. So, that which does not need any of the sense organs, that vastu, that is aparoksha vastu, and that is known through again verbal testimony alone. To understand this, author has given a story. Let's understand that author, because again he is going to refer to that. So let's know that story first. Now this is a very famous story. There were 10, a group of 10 people, group of 10 youngsters, 10 students. Now, because they were traveling to different village, and while traveling, they had to cross a river. Now, their guru, he had instructed, make sure nobody is lost and come back before evening. Now, while crossing the river, they all crossed, and they decided we have to check, had somebody been lost in the river or not. So what should we do? Let us count. Now they started counting. Now they started counting as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And all 10 of them, being congenital idiots, they did not count themselves. Now what has happened? They have not counted themselves, so everybody counted 9. And they started crying that the 10th man has been lost. Now, because they started crying the 10th man has been lost, there was chaos, and some passerby who was good of heart, he understood something is wrong. He asked, why are you crying? They all answered the reason, and he understood what the problem was. So, to calm them down, he said, don't worry, stop crying. 10th man is there. Dashamaha asti. 10th man is there. Now they felt happy. Okay, we have not lost 10th man. Right now, yet we don't know where the 10th man is. But 10th man has not been lost. They were happy. Now they asked, where is that 10th man? So he did a simple thing. He asked each and every one of them to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then he said 10. And then he pointed to the person who was counting and said, you are that 10th man. Dashamat Tvamasi. You are that 10th man. Here, Dashamaha Asti, like Brahma Asti. He said 10th man is there. Listening to that person's statement, did they actually saw the 10th man in front of them? No. They did not see the 10th man through any of their indriyas, but they understood, okay, the 10th man is. This is Paroksha Jnana, just by listening to the statement. And by listening to this statement, 10th, you are that 10th man. The person who was counting, he came to know the 10th man which I am looking for is me, myself. He is not different from me. Now to know that 10th man is not different from me, which of the sense organ was required? None. No sense organ was required. Only thing that was required was listening to the statement, you are that 10th man. And listening to that statement, it gave him the knowledge that I am that 10th man. That is like listening to the statement Tat Tvamasi and experiencing that in the form Aham Brahmasmi. That knowledge is going to be Aparoksha Jnana. So that is Aparoksha. So aparoksha is that which is me myself, not different from me. Now, the explanation, the answer is being given by the author to the earlier objections. यदुक्तं शब्दसामान्यं परोक्षम् एव ज्ञानं जनयेत् इति न एतत् साधुः न एतत् साधु. That which has been said by you, Shabda Samanyam, words by themselves. Here Shabda means Veda, Vedic statements by themselves. Paroksham eva jnanam janayet. They will generate paroksha jnana alone. Iti na etat sadhu. This is not appropriate. This is not the right understanding. Why? Yata, because ayameva swabhavah shabdasya yat paroksha paroksha rupa dividha jnana janakatvam iti. This is the nature of words. The shabda, the statement, any statement, it can generate paroksha jnana or aparoksha jnana. It is possible for a statement to generate paroksha and for another statement to generate aparoksha jnana. How do you say so? Please give me an example. Simple. Deshakala parichinnam or avrutam vastu vyavahitam iti uchyate. Desha parichinnam kala parichinnam. Limited by space or limited by time. An object which is not in front of me, which is somewhere else, is desha parichinna. And an object which was there in past or which will be there in future is kala parichinna. It is called as vyavahita, obstructed. Obstructed because of limitation of space and obstructed because of limitation of time. Tat anavachinnam tad anavratam avyavahitam iti cha. And which is not obstructed by that is avyavahita, it is unobstructed. For all the objects of knowledge which are obstructed by space and time, vyavahita vishayakam shabdam jnanam. Each word is important in this statement. Vyavahita vishayakam. Any object of knowledge which is limited by space and time, the knowledge which is gained through shabdam, verbal testimony, by listening to someone's statement. Paroksham eva, that knowledge will be paroksha alone. Is it not? Object which is not in the purview of my senses, sense organs, or which was there in past or which will be there in future, for about all those objects, knowledge which I gain by listening to any statement will be paroksha alone. There is no way it can be aparoksha or pratyaksha for that matter. Na kadachit kathanchidapi aparoksham bhavati. It can never be, no way it is possible for that knowledge to be aparoksha. For example, Swargendra Devatadinam Vyavahitanam Jnanasya Shastra Rupa Shabda Pramanena Jayamanasya Nityam Parokshatvat. Just as it has been described and said in Vedas that there is Swarga, there are Indradika Devata in the Swarga. The knowledge which is gained about Swarga and Swargadi, Indradi Devata, the Devata which are there in Swarga, through statements of Veda, by listening to statements of Veda, will be paroksha only. I can't And if I see them with my eyes, that will be pratyaksha. But nobody has gone to Swarga and come back to tell us the story. Is it not? If somebody says, I had gone to Swarga and just came back to meet you, we would just run away. That's different story. But the idea is anything which is limited by space and time, when the knowledge of that object is gained through a statement, will be paroksha alone. अव्यवहित वस्तु विषयकम शाब्दम ज्ञानम परोक्षम अपरोक्षं च भवति. Now, an object which is not vyavahita, avyavahita, which is not limited by space and time, the knowledge of that object, when gained through a statement, can be paroksha and aparoksha. Yada, when अव्यवहित वस्तु विषयकम ज्ञानम अस्तीति शब्देन जायते, when the knowledge of that object is gained through the word asti, is there. In the statement, when it is gained through is there, tada, then अव्यवहितस्यापि वस्तुनः ज्ञानम अपरोक्षम एव भवति. Even though that object may be avyavahita, knowledge will be paroksha. Just like that person, he was the 10th man, but when he listened, Dashamaha Asti, 10th man is there. He did not understand, I am the 10th man. Is 10th man different from him? No. But still, what he understood, 10th man is there. So that was paroksha jnana. Yatha dashamaha asti ityatra asti shabdena jayamanam avyavahitasyapi dashama purushasya jnanam parokshameva bhavati. Dashamaha asti, 10th man is there. Here, is there, by the statement is there, the knowledge which is gained is paroksha alone. And when yada avyavahita vastu vishayakam jnanam idam asti iti shabda pramanena jayate, this is 10th man, or you are 10th man, when that oneness is indicated, then the knowledge which is gained, ajnanam aparoksham eva bhavati, that knowledge shall be aparoksha alone, na paroksham, can never be paroksha. Dashama tvamasi ityatra, tvamasi shabdena jayamana dashama purusha jnanam aparoksham eva bhavati. Now, dashama tvamasi ityatra, dashamaha tvamasi, you are that 10th man ityatra, in this statement. Tvam asi iti shabdena, tvam asi, you are, by this statement, jayamana dashama purusha jnanam, the knowledge of that 10th man which is gained is aparoksha only. It is not pratyaksha, not paroksha, it is aparoksha, me, myself. Evameva, in this way, prakrutasya brahmanaha, the Brahman about which we are discussing, the topic which is going on right now, that Brahman, sarva prani pratyakatma bhutatvat, that Brahman being Pratyagatma bhutatva, the innermost, the self of all the human being, all the prani matra, all the beings, everything. Atyanta avyavahitasya, it is atyanta avyavahita. There cannot be any vyavahita, vyavadhana, obstruction in between. Without any obstruction, because it is innermost. For obstruction to be there, there has to be something in between. There is nothing in between. Atyanta avyavahita. There is no obstruction at all. Nitya aparoksha rupasyapi jnanam. It is nitya aparoksha rupa. It is aparoksha swarupa. Brahman by itself is aparoksha. It is me, myself. Even though such is the case, tadasti ityavantarvakyena, by the statement tad asti, Brahman is there. When such statement is said in Vedas, in Upanishads, paroksham eva jayate, jnana, knowledge which is gained, is paroksham alone. Satyam jnanam anantam brahma, Brahman is satyam jnanam anantam. You understand? Okay, there is Brahman, which is Satyam Jnanam Anantam, which is infinite, which is the biggest, which is the self of all, which is Satyam, which is the reality, etc., etc. But it is not me. I am a Jiva only. So here the knowledge is Paroksha only. Mahavakyam too, but Mahavakya Dashamattvamasi itivat. You are that 10th man. In this way, Shrotuhu Atmatvena Aparokshataya Brahma Bodheti. Dashamattvamasi, you are that 10th man, like this. Shrotuhu, of the listener, Atmatvena, as the self of the listener. Aparokshataya, in the aparoksha way, Brahma bodhayati, Brahma bodhayati jnapayati. It explains or it gives the knowledge of Brahman aparokshataya as non-dual, not different from the listener. When it is said Dashamattvamasi, what is indicated? The 10th man is not different from you, the listener. Similarly, Brahman is not different from you, the listener. Ataha eva, therefore, Mahavakyena, by listening to Mahavakya, avyavahita pratyak brahma paroksha jnanam eva jayate natu paroksham iti. Therefore, by listening to Mahavakya, pratyak Brahman, which is innermost, which is avyavahita, without any obstruction, that Brahman will be known aparokshataya. Aparoksha jnana alone will take place, natu paroksham. It cannot be paroksham. Iti. But this is the classical condition. We have like classical examples or the best possible conditions. This is in that sense when all the conditions are conducive. What do you mean? Before we go into the second objection, let me first introduce a small objection which we have to understand here. Now, it was simple for a person to understand, I am that 10th man. But to know I am Brahman, it is not verbal. Now, where we have to coincide? This is the tricky part when it comes to understanding aparoksha jnana. When any knowledge takes place, the follow of knowledge is seen. And now we are talking about aparoksha jnana, and to be here. Now, don't say about Swargadika Jnana. There it is not possible. Not about Paroksha Jnana. For Pratyaksha Jnana and Aparoksha Jnana, when you see, when you gain that knowledge, the phala, the result of knowledge is directly seen. When you taste, if your tongue is in good condition, you will taste sweetness. There will not be any doubt. But if there is any doubt, then the knowledge is not going to give any result, and that knowledge cannot be truly said to be knowledge, whether it is pratyaksha or aparoksha, or even in that case paroksha also. If there is any lingering doubt, then that knowledge cannot be truly knowledge. So when I listen, if I am not an adhikari and I listen to, even though I listen to Mahavakya, I cannot say that I have gained aparoksha jnana. For that knowledge to be really aparoksha, that which is obstructing, those obstructions are required to be removed. But here, understand again one more thing. That does not mean Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana is giving me aparoksha jnana. No. They are just removing the obstructions. As Swamiji gives very beautiful example. There is a slide under a microscope. There is fine adjustment and the coarse adjustment. Coarse adjustment has been done. Fine adjustment is to be done. If the fine adjustment has not been done, if I see through my eyes, nothing is visible. Nothing will be visible. If the fine adjustment is properly done, then I will quickly see the object which is below. Similarly, is the case here. We will understand this part in detail and the next part of the answer the next time. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Shanti 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 Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om